What is up, world? You are in tune to the Know It All podcast, and today we are flying dolo with me and Tate. Tate, what's popping, man?
Ma, what's good, man? Just another week. Got a lot of stuff sorted out in the college football world, so I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Shoot, a lot of stuff, man. Shouts out to Big G. Big G ain't with us today, but he'll definitely be back next weekend. That's the third member of the Know It All crew. But before we get into that, man, let's definitely get into this. And world, we are glad you here. You are in tune to one of the best podcasts around, the Know It All podcast. Why? Because we simply know it all. And man, be here and Tate, man. I got to give you credit, man. From the beginning of the year, the NCAA, and I'm definitely gonna run this back next show. You called it. You called Cincinnati being here. I mean, they ain't officially been named here, but the whole time you believed it. And hey, man, as a know-it-all, I gotta say, I doubted it, but you stuck with your guns and you believed it, man. So how gratifying was it for you to see them with that second half comeback where they just kind of turned it on and left Houston in the dust?
Well, man, it's not too gratifying because, like I said, I really had the feeling that Cincinnati was going to win all their games, and once they got to a certain point in the college football rankings, they probably couldn't be denied as long as they win their games. If I remember back to the college preview show, I got Cincinnati right. I think I got Alabama right. I don't remember if I picked Georgia. I feel like maybe we thought two SEC teams could get there. But the one I got wrong is the one that hurts the most. I had the Buckeyes going, man, and they not going. So,
Yeah, no, but you did. You actually, I'm like I said, I'm a consult the tape, but I know that you picked Georgia. I remember distinctly you picking Georgia because you're like, yeah, Georgia, and then Ohio State was that last team. I mean, honestly, I think we both had our doubts about Oklahoma State, but man, how hurtful is that, dog? You're right there on the goal line basically, and can't get it in. First of all, I don't know why. I just got to be honest. I don't know why we don't run the naked bootleg when you got a quarterback who can actually run the ball. Why not fake naked bootleg the other way and let your quarterback just take it in where he would be wide, slap open, or run an RPO? I don't get it.
Yeah, man, we need to talk to your boy Mike Gundy. But I mean, you gotta give a lot of props to the Baylor defense. They just stood up when it was time to stand up. You know what I mean?
And I have nothing against that on the Baylor. 100%. They 100% deserve the Big 12 title. I mean, that's the Big 12 title in basketball and football back to back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, they deserve it. But man, Mike Gundy, this was your shot. You have never won a Big 12 championship, and next year you probably ain't gonna win it again. I mean, and that's the last year of the Big 12. So you went all this Big 12 without winning one. Come on, Gundy, man. I mean, come on, bro. Like, everybody done got to taste a piece of the pie except you. TCU done got some. Oklahoma done got some. Texas even done got some. But you didn't get none, man. I mean, come on, man. And you're one of the longest tenured coaches in America.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And you get 10 wins a season. I mean, come on, man. The Pokes is y'all yeah. I mean, I felt bad. My heart was broke for them youngsters, man, because it's like, what do you say? What do you say when you got 4 chances down there and you can't get 3 yards?
Would anything have been different if Baylor won in the Final Four? I don't think so.
So no, if Oklahoma State won, yeah, Oklahoma
Yeah.
State was in.
They who they were putting out.
They was in. They was in. Cincinnati was gone. They were in. Honestly, because if they beat a number 8 Baylor, right?
Yeah, they would have.
They'd already beat Oklahoma, who was ranked, right? So there would have been no denying them they have one loss. No, that you couldn't have said no.
But we talking about Cincinnati team is 13-0 that didn't beat 2 ranked teams back to back. So you saying
no? They beat a number. They beat 2 top 10 teams back to back. They would have beat Oklahoma, who was top 10, and then they would have turned around and beat Baylor, who was top 10. Baylor was 8, and they were number 4. You know what I mean?
They was number 5. Oklahoma State was number 5.
Number 5. Okay, so
we won't know, but I think Cincinnati would held on to it, but we never know.
No, we'll never know. And guess what? I mean, hey, it doesn't matter if we know or not.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Doesn't matter if we know or not, man.
So what you think about the way Alabama put it to Georgia though?
So you want to? I kind of feel like I honestly, Tate, I kind of feel like Georgia laid down, man. You think
due to the fact that Georgia knew they was in, win or lose, they wasn't as maybe motivated. I guess Alabama beating them 3 times in a row is not enough for Georgia to want to win that game.
And they go, yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to play them again. So it's like, man, and I think they'll play them again for the national championship. And Georgia's gonna punish them boys to win the net because it means something. You know what I mean? It means something. Big G said that Oklahoma. He said Ohio State is going to a terrible bowl. The Midas. He said, wait a minute. Let me see. I'll tell you what he said. He said the Lax Home Rental Sales Bowl.
Man, Big G been going hard on Ohio State ever since the loss to Michigan. Specifically, C.J. Stroud. And none of the fault is C.J. Stroud. Quinn Ewers left. Jack Sawyer left because all them boys know they was 5 stars. They know, man, C.J. done grab hold of this, and he ain't going to let go.
He ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. Chris,
Ohio State is going to the Rose Bowl. Come on, man.
Let's talk about that here in just a second. We're going to get to that. Chris said Steelers got a TD. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's my dude, Chris. You see, he's a huge Georgia fan, but he just texted me. He's a Ravens fan too. He texted me saying the Steelers can't win because they can't score a touchdown. You know, we on here now, so I'm not keeping up with the game, but I'm glad to know they got a touchdown.
Well, you know, I mean, listen, I was really upset about this because, you know, when it comes down to it, I got Najee and I have Claypool on my fantasy team. So I'm trying to see, you know, some yards, man, and they ain't doing nothing. I'm like, man, golly, man.
You should already know going into it when the Steelers Ravens, it's a defensive grimy struggle, man. That ain't the game. You think you're gonna be getting some fantasy shine, you know?
Yeah, but you know, especially with Najee, because it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind out game. So I'm thinking, running back, you can't lose with that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, you can. I mean, but and Lamar, let's talk about, well, we'll get to Lamar Jackson in a minute because we definitely got to talk about that. So get this. We talked about that Georgia-Alabama game. Now let's talk about the Michigan-Iowa game, which I specifically said, Michigan gonna blow the doors off them boys.
You said that. You said that.
And guess what? They blew the doors off them boys.
Straight doors.
Yeah, the reason why I felt that way is because of the simple fact that you got to think about it. Iowa has a good defense, right? But if you keep that defense on the field, that good defense is going to get cut through like sliced cheese. They tired. People get tired, and you ain't got enough.
Did you watch that game? Like, did you watch it from the beginning?
No, I was on the road.
Okay, well, the first series of the game, Iowa drove down. They were controlling the ball. They drove down inside the red zone to about the 15, 12-yard line, and they had a little trick play wide open. And was it the receiver or the running back that threw the ball, missed a bad pass to the fullback, wide open. And I mean, I think once they didn't get that and they settled for 3, I think that just killed all momentum for the whole rest of the game, man. That's my take on that.
Wow. I mean, so I didn't see the game, so I don't know how it actually played out. And Know It All listeners, feel free to make sure you make a comment. But man, it's like, to me, I felt like Iowa's offense just wasn't gonna have enough, man. Against that Michigan defense, they just were not gonna have enough. So, now you have the most embarrassing game of them all, because Cincinnati, Houston put up a fight. You know what I'm saying? Houston put up a fight, and stylistically, they didn't get a whole bunch of style points, but they still put the wood to them. But man, Utah, Oregon. Hey man, listen, when your heart done been took from you and they got your baby picture, if I got your baby picture with an actual game, that's what that looked like. I got your baby picture. They held up Oregon's baby picture and said, look what I got. You was a cute baby. Now that Google.
It's like that. It's like that kid, man, you grew up with that was always getting beat up and stuff when y'all was kids, and you get older, you want to act tough, and you tell them, man, I know you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I know you. Utah said, I know you, bro.
I know who you are. I know you.
I know who you are, right?
Yeah. I know you people. I know who you are. You don't front with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you put on little muscles and think those little muscles help. No.
Right. I know you do.
Inside you weak as wet toilet paper.
Right.
And guess what? They popped them.
But you know what, Mod? I kind of was on that take on Oregon all year, man. I never had no faith in Oregon, man. I mean, they came to Columbus and beat Ohio State, but that Ohio State was young. Defense was really soft. It still was soft at the end, but it was really soft then. And young quarterback, even though he threw for almost 500 yards in that game. I mean, Oregon came in and caught Ohio State slipping. But then Oregon ended up losing 4 games this year. 2 to Utah, 1 to Stanford, and then they get smoked by Washington State. I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Something like that. All I can tell you is this. Utah took them to the woodshed. And it was
2 times.
Twice. It was so bad. You can almost like see them say, stop. Please, I don't want no more.
Hey, man.
I don't want no more.
I'm sitting here laughing. Oregon, Utah might do it to us in the Rose Bowl. Because we got a buttery defense.
So now let's talk about Ohio State. We're there now. Let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Do you think, honestly, that you've seen the last of Garrett Wilson in an Ohio State Buckeye uniform?
Yeah, I don't think Garrett Wilson's gonna play in the Rose Bowl. I mean, it's not. I mean, it means something, but it not like that. Not like trying to get that natty though. You know what I mean? So I could see him and Chris Olave not playing. I would think Olave more apt to play because he's a senior. It's his last game, Rose Bowl. He still can add to his career stats. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think Ohio State. I mean, they would miss those guys obviously, but you still got Smith and Jigba. You got Julian Fleming stepping in, and you got Marvin Harrison Jr. stepping in. So they got the same guys that's going to be starting beginning of next year. Will just be starting 1 game earlier.
Yeah. But you'll definitely miss Olave, and you'll definitely miss Will.
Oh yeah, you will. They 2 first rounders.
Mm-hmm.
2 first rounders in the NFL draft.
That's what I was thinking. We were discussing that yesterday with my son, who actually him and Garrett around the same age, and they knew each other. Garrett's an Austin kid, and we were discussing if we think he was going to go. And I was saying in my mind, if he's a top 10, top 15 pick, I can't see him staying in college. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's to say that you could come back next year and improve on that stock? You know
I definitely think he's going. I think the question is he going to play in the bowl game? Will he?
No,
to
That's
play
not
in the bowl game. Yeah, he's
yeah,
not
that's
coming back next year. That was never in doubt.
but that was the reason my mind went there though, right? That's why we had the conversation, because I was thinking to myself, if he comes back another year, then he'll play. But I don't see him playing, especially if he's going to be a top 10, top 15 type pick. And I think he'll be a top 10, top 15 type pick. Know it all, listeners out there, make sure if you got an opinion, let us know. And what do you guys think? Do you think Garrett Wilson comes back? Do you think that we're going to see more Ohio State players not play in that Rose Bowl? And what do you think about that anyway? What do you guys think about kids sitting out that last game or that bowl game if the bowl game doesn't proverbially mean anything?
Well, I think the kids have the right. I mean, we seeing now, man, these coaches bailing on the kids, bailing on the university. Brian Kelly up out of there, Lincoln Riley up out of there.
Hey,
what I mean?
Hey, Lincoln Riley left. He left his office furniture and everything. His wife's picture still on the desk. That brother
I saw that.
gone.
I saw you sent the text to that, man. Yeah,
that brother was gone.
Out of there. And then on top of that, he done had quite a few kids following. Quite a few, 5-star recruits.
5-star recruits, yeah, they left. And they're going with Lincoln. But that's what I said. I'm excited about college football moving forward, though, because of that reason, right? You got so first of all, Bergeron Ed did not leave that cupboard bare. There's some kids at their LSU, and guess who can coach talent? Brian Kelly can coach talent. You know what I'm saying? He can coach them up. So, I'm excited to see that LSU squad. College football is better when LSU's better.
But man, I feel like Brian Kelly jumped out the jacuzzi into the fire, man. You know what I mean? Going to the SEC.
Yeah, no, he did. He definitely did. But this is going to be and with that little fake accent he went down there with, but I don't know where that came from.
He from Boston. That's the Irish accent.
Yeah, well, no, he tried to pull a Southern accent.
Oh, he tried to do a Southern. Okay.
Oh yeah, he tried to pull a Southern accent. That was a poor choice, Brian Kelly. Poor choice. But no, so college football is better when LSU is better. College football is better when USC is better. And I'm going to tell you something about Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is going to definitely circle the wagons around California. And a lot of them California kids is not getting out of there anymore. They're going to want to come play for the arguably one of the best offensive minds in college football, right? Lincoln Riley. So I definitely see that happening. And then, you're probably going to have Venables or you're going to have a Stoops in Oklahoma, right? So, you're going to get somebody. It's going to be like a Venables or Stoops that comes back, Mark Stoops, to come back to run that Oklahoma program because, this year is the last year of the Big 12, right? And then, going forth, you're going to be in the SEC. So you got to have a power name coach. And to kind of flip back to Ohio State, Quinn Ewers has left. And there's a lot of rumors around this way that he wants to come back to Texas and put on that burnt orange. I think that would be great. I wouldn't want to lose him twice. But the thing that is scary, though, is if he ended up down there at Kyle Field in College Station. You know what I'm saying? Now that's scary out.
Well, I heard that Texas A&M, Texas Longhorns, A&M, and Texas Tech is all in the mix. The Ewers to go there, and that they hired Texas Tech. You might know more than me. Texas Tech hired some legendary Texas high school coach who's going to be the coach there starting next year.
I ain't hear that. I ain't hear that.
Some legendary Texas high school coach is the new coach at Texas Tech.
Only person that could be is Todd Dodge, but he's still down here at Westlake. Let me see something. Let's see. But I don't, that would be the thing for me. I see Tech, I see A&M, and I see Texas being the better option for yours because he got receivers. He's got a plethora of receivers to work with, at Texas, and a plethora of them to work with at A&M. You know,
Yeah, A&M just signed the best receiver in the nation, Evans or something like that.
the 5-star dude, they flipped him. Yep, they sure did. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I haven't seen. If you see the name, let me know. I want to know the name that they were looking at
So
purchasing.
no, well, I guess he just came from Baylor though.
Evan Stewart. Evan Stewart's what Chris said. Chris said, yeah, no,
that's the receiver. I'm talking about A&M. I mean, Tech coach is Joey McGuire.
Okay. Yeah, no, never heard of him. Never heard of him at all. When we're talking about legends, we're talking about Todd Dodge. We're talking about, people like that. My guy who's down at Brownwood for a while. And then we're talking about the Shipleys of the world and the McCoys. That when we're talking about, legendary coaches, the coach for South Lake Carroll was Todd Dodge for a while. And, South Lake Carroll has been a powerhouse.
Cedar Hill High School.
Ooh, is where he came from?
Three Texas state championships, 12 consecutive playoffs appearances. He had a record of 141-12.
So let me tell you about Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill is where all of the Cowboy kids go. So all of the professional athletes, the Mavericks, the Cowboys, those people who have kids, Cedar Hill is the neighborhood where most of them live, right? Okay. And that's the school where most of them go. Like before Deion's sons actually left and started going to the private school, they were going to Cedar Hill. You know what I mean? Fred Hammond's son went to Cedar Hill. That Cedar Hill is like that big place. It's a college campus.
That's a pretty good resume, right? 141-12.
That's a great resume. Great resume.
3 championships, 12 consecutive playoff appearances.
Great, and it's even better because he still had to play DeSoto. He had to play places like DeSoto and definitely had to play Duncanville, who are, these are juggernauts. And if you can beat them, you've done something. You know what I'm saying? If you can beat Duncanville and DeSoto, you've done something, right? But my whole thought process in this thing goes to, for Texas' sake, I hope yours don't go to Kyle Field. That's scary hour. Because they keep defenses. Defenses have ever since A&M went to the SEC, all of the defensive linemen, defensive linebackers, and defensive backs they bypassed everybody in Texas to go to A&M so that they could get a chance at the SEC and go in pro, right? So they kept that. The only one thing that they have not been able to get is a QB. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The QB they got now, he's a 5-star blue chipper. I'm not saying he's better than yours, but he ain't no slouch.
Yeah, he's comparable, but he's not yours.
Right.
yours is something else. Yours is something else. And I mean, people are asked, well, if he's that good, why is he leaving Ohio State? Well, I mean, you got to think sometimes system fits just don't fit you. And then sometimes the guy ahead of you is just that good.
And that's what it is. I mean, because he wanted to go there and learn the tutelage of Ryan Day. I mean, because, Ryan Day like him and Lincoln Riley, the new quarterback gurus the past, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, he wanted to play for Ryan Day. And the thing was with him leaving out of Ohio State, that NIL money, he made $1 million and took 2 snaps this year. The NIL money said, you got to start for us to want to pay you. We ain't going to pay you no $1 million and you sit in the bench.
Yeah.
So he's really looking for a school where he can go start right now.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. The two aforementioned teams, Texas and Texas A&M, he could actually get on the field. He could actually get on the field and start, So
right.
That's something that's different. That's special. So we talk about the NFL this week, man. Definitely some things that I want to take away. The Cowboys beat the New Orleans Saints on Thursday to start the week off. Then, this weekend, it just seems like all of the games are just the nail bite. There's nobody in the NFL right now who I just see is just dominant people. the Tampa Bay struggled with Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, there's nothing, no rhyme or reason to kind of hang your hat on in the NFL. How do you feel about this, man? Like, look, watching the games this weekend, man. How do you feel about that? Like, nobody's running away with nothing.
Man, I think a lot of it has to do with the parity in the NFL right now, man. I think a lot of it has to do with the new NFLPA rules and limited practices, and you can only hit so many times and during the week and stuff like that. You know, it's like teams aren't as prepared. Even your high level teams aren't as prepared. I mean, that's kind of my take on it. I mean, anybody can be anybody in the AFC. As of right now, I believe there's 12 teams above 500. Now, granted, like Baltimore has 3 losses, they on top of the conference, and you got other teams with 5 losses, and all these teams play each other. You know what I mean? Coming up these last 5 or 6 games, so it's wide open.
It's crazy, and I'll say the parity too. If you can't just kind of give me the records on those, because I wanted to talk about that. I was even looking at the Colts today, man, and I'm like, you know, it's crazy. And then dealing with that Pittsburgh game. I mean, I know the Ravens are 8-3 and Pittsburgh's 5-1, and now the score is 13-12. By the way, take 13-12 with 7 minutes to go. You know, Lamar Jackson.
Ravens are winning it. Did Pittsburgh miss the extra point or something? They had to.
They had to have. I mean, they had 3 and they scored 7.
Yeah.
Or they got a safety. They got a safety. It was 10-9. It was 10-3. Then it was 10-9. They must have missed the extra point. Oh yeah, they must have missed the extra point and then got it. You're right. You're right.
So Baltimore 8-4. The Bills. I mean Baltimore Patriots 8-4. Bills 7-4. Chiefs 7-4. Chargers 7-5. Raiders 6-5. Broncos 6-5. Ravens 8-3, Bengals 7-5, Steelers 5-5-1, Browns 6-6, Titans 8-4, and the Colts is probably the hottest team after the Dolphins, and they both got more losses, but they both won like 5 in a row. The Colts are 7-6, and the Dolphins is 6-7.
Yeah, it's and then if you look at the NFC. The parity's just as close, man. I mean, you got nobody's like you. So you can say, "Oh, this team is gonna win it all," but you would just be guessing at this point. You totally just be guessing. There's a lot of football to still be played. You know, there's some injuries, people who are coming back from injuries, and then there's teams that just ain't jailed. There's teams that just ain't jailed with each other yet, and you know, definitely. Detroit got their first win today.
I saw that, man. I was watching
Detroit playing. Chris said
they're playing Minnesota.
Yeah,
and they got a touchdown on the last play of the game.
Wow.
Yeah. Jared Goff threw like a 16-yard pass with no time left.
Hey, I know that had to feel good to get the monkey off your back.
Man, them juggers act like they was going to the Super Bowl.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you the Dalvin Cook didn't play today.
Cook didn't play, but Matt Matheson, whatever the backup name is, he came in and had 100, I think, throwing a touchdown. So I mean, he filled in admirably.
Well, you know, hey, they just They wanted it more. I mean, this year, man.
Thielen got hurt. And Jefferson had like 160 some yards or something like that.
Can we agree that he's a man child? Can we all agree that man is a man child? Him and Jamar Chase, that LSU receiving core was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Marshall, Chase, and Jefferson. Yeah, man. Wow.
And they had Randy Moss son at tight end.
Wow.
Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah, I mean, they were a high-powered machine. They were just a machine. I mean, and look at what they're doing in the league. They're tearing the league apart. And I will say this, and I'm just going to touch on this briefly. Micah Parsons may be making an argument. I mean, TJ Watt is in TJ Watt and Myles Garrett are phenomenal this year. But man, is he not making a case for defensive player of the year?
He is. He's in the top 5 discussion. He done moved up in the neighborhood now. You know, he ain't out in the suburbs. He downtown with him now. You know what I mean? He's downtown. I mean, if he could pull it off, and if Dallas win a few more games, and he's instrumental in those wins, then his profile even increases, so his chances are better. But you know, he would be the first rookie to obviously we know win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and if he won defensive MVP as a rookie, who was the last person to do that? Do you know?
I don't know at all.
You remember a big bad man, number 56, played for the New York Giants, a team you hate?
Lawrence Taylor?
Lawrence Taylor, the last one. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Rookie. Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, LT.
And if that happened, bro, that would be phenomenal. But so I got a question. What do you do with him when you get Randy Gregory back?
He's a chess piece. You just move him around.
Do you move him back at linebacker? Do you kind of run some hybrid sets to put Randy Gregory in at like defensive tackle and then let him play in? Do you do that?
Yeah, you mix it up. He play middle linebacker. He play on the edge. He can drop. He can play. You know, he can play outside linebacker, inside linebacker. And so I'm guessing that Dallas run a 4-3.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean, you put Randy Gregory down at D tackle and let Micah Parsons line up behind him and come off that edge in a 4-3. Wow. And you still got Van Der Esch back there, you know, that's playing the run and playing the
Neal,
middle.
Keanu Neal is playing your middle when he's not there. So I mean, bro, like the thing that's scary hour for me is man, brother man just out there running around making plays. He don't even recognize offenses like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a football player. He just run around. And he closed in on Taysom Hill in one play that I was like, looked like somebody shot him out of a gun, man. I was like, this is just ridiculous, man. This boy is good. And it's crazy how good he can be. And, you know, you just think about, wow, man, he's just a kid, man. He's just a kid out here playing football.
It's like they said in the broadcast of the day. He's not just fast for a linebacker. He's one of the fastest dudes on the field at all times.
At all times.
That's skilled players and everything included.
Yeah. And he 250. You know what I'm saying? He 250. He's not a little kid coming out here at you. He's 250, man.
He just scratching the surface of what he could be. And y'all really lucked up in the draft that none of them corners y'all wanted was available. Kind of forced you to pick Micah Parsons. Because you would have picked what's the kid for that Denver?
Yeah, the cornerback. I forget his name, but he's actually playing pretty good. He's not playing bad at all. He's playing
great. He's playing great. Yeah. And so is the horn dude, J.C. Horn, went to Carolina, and Surtain, Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, Patrick Surtain was Denver.
Yeah, went to Denver. That's what I'm saying. But y'all wanted either one of them. The fact that they both went the picks before y'all picked forced y'all to pick Micah Parsons, and y'all got the best pick on defensive side of the ball in the draft.
The best pick.
It's kind of like in basketball. My squad is, as sorry as they've been, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had the third pick, and we got Evan Mobley because Detroit and Houston picked in front of us. They took Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green. We kind of got stuck. Okay, well, we got to take Evan Mobley. He's the next best player, but he turned out to be the best player. You know what I mean? If we had to pick one or two, we probably wouldn't have picked him because we didn't need a big. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you just Forrest Gump into stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You just luck your way into it, and it is what it is. Man, so before we get ready to get out of here, man, I got a question I seriously had to ask you. Has LeBron lost a step?
Yeah, man, the Joker, 37 years old. He ain't lost a step.
Do you see him hanging on another 3 years for Bronny to get to the league?
Oh, I mean, he won't be what he has been, but he still is a top tier NBA player in the next 2-3 years. He's just not, from a health standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, what we have come to know LeBron to be. But LeBron's still gonna give you 27 and 7, even when he's 40. You know what I mean? That's just
I don't think he'll be able to physically give us that, because he hasn't transitioned into a mid-range shooter. Yeah,
the next transition is LeBron full-time being a power forward and going on the post as he ages. That's where he's gonna eat at. And then even what he lose athletically from the neck up, LeBron's still better than everybody.
I mean, I can agree. This was one of this was definitely one of the conversations I had this weekend. Is will LeBron make it to that other 3 years? I don't know that he can get Kareem's title. I mean, but if he don't get it, how much? I mean, for real, how much better does that make Kareem look if LeBron don't get the scoring title? How much better does that make that record look? I mean, for real, like I think he has the average in 20 some odd points to actually get it in these next couple of years.
Man, LeBron
has been hurt. LeBron has been hurt more in the last 3 years than he ever had in the years prior. So
LeBron a little under 2,800 points out from Kareem. Kareem had played 240 more games than LeBron.
But okay, Chris, do that math. He's 2,800 away and got 82 games. 82 games. So for over 2 years,
you may as well say 72 games. He gonna miss 10 games minimum.
So okay, let's say 72. That's 144 games, and divide that by 2,800. What do you got to go?
No, so if he scored 20 points a game for 2 years, 72 games, he'd get to Kareem.
That's a hard feat, man. I mean, how many games has he already missed this year?
Quite a few. He missed like seven for that abdominal strain. Then he on this COVID miss, the protocol list. So but LeBron is gonna score. He gonna average 20, but you gotta count them games where he get 26, he get 28. It's gonna be quite a few of them. So I think he averages more. He's never averaged below 25. This year he may average 25, and in the games, he just won't have played as many games, but he's never averaged below 25. So why would we just drop him down to 20 already? You know what I mean? Even if it's 22, 23, he's still going to exceed the pace that we talking about.
Well, hopefully so. Hopefully so. I think, if he gets it, that's my qualification, man. Best to ever do it. You got that. Hey, it is what it is.
And not only that, but to be in the top 5 in assists, and then in the top 20 in rebounding for a small forward. So we talking about lead scorer, top 5 in assists from a small forward, top 20 in rebounding for a small forward. And then his impact on winning. If you look at his overall winning percentage over his career, you know what I mean? They've had disappointing seasons. That season he got hurt a couple years ago with the groin, with the Lakers losing season. He had a losing season since I think his rookie year, since before that. I did 18 seasons.
I'm just gonna tell you, Miami LeBron was phenomenal. Miami LeBron was probably at the apex LeBron for me. You know what I mean?
Athletically, you correct.
That was probably the apex LeBron. I mean, he was something special. He was something to behold, man.
But you got to look at. He went back to Cleveland a second time and took those teams to 4 straight finals. Teams that hadn't even sniffed the playoffs before he came back.
Hey, couldn't even smell their cologne. Couldn't even smell the playoffs cologne. It was bad, man. It was bad. It's really really bad. But
then my gripe with people with LeBron is LeBron went to all the finals. He 4-6 in the finals, but in 10 finals. But then he lost that one against Dallas that he should have won. But every other time he leaves losing to a dynasty in San Antonio or Golden State. And then the first year he went, he took a Cleveland team that had no business being there. A Cleveland team with Boogie Gibson, Verjao, you know what I mean? Ilgaskis. I mean, he took them and he lost that to the Spurs. But you hold that against him because he took a team to the finals that he should never been able to take to the finals.
Hey, man, you know, he was there. He was there. Somebody got to take that L. He took it. You know what I mean?
Brady been in 10 Super Bowls, right? Brady 7-3 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he took a L. He held the L though. You gonna hold L's in your career. You just
Brady lost. I think he lost to Philadelphia.
He lost to the Giants.
And the Giants twice. So every time he lost, he was a favorite.
Yeah.
Every time LeBron lost, with the exception of Dallas, he wasn't a favorite.
Well, you know, all I can say is somebody got to hold the L. It just is what it is.
Oh yeah, that's how it works.
Somebody got to hold that L, and you know, Michael Jordan never held that L. Not in the finals. He never held that L.
Not in the finals, I mean? but Mike never made it till he got Scottie Pippen. He lost his first 3 times in the first round.
Man, he never held that L in the finals. It just is what it is. He never held that L.
You see how we twist things to fit our narrative, man.
Hey, money's the greatest. For right now, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And that just is what it is. But Tate, man, did you have anything that you want to add, man, and you know, speak to the know-it-all fans about?
Man, I want to just kind of touch on my Pittsburgh Steelers real quick, man. Oh, I want to say too, if you remember, I called last week, Ohio State upsets Duke in basketball. Ohio State took out the number 1 team in the country.
You did call that. You did go. We got to run that tape. We got to run that tape.
No need to run the tape. Just say, yeah, you did say that. That worked for me. But I want to talk about the Steelers real quick, just like because they're playing right now. I'm going to go check out the end of this game. But it's been a disappointing season, man. I mean, I feel like I don't know what's happening to the Steelers, to our culture, you know, from the past. It's supposed to carry on. Mm-hmm. And Ben Roethlisberger reports come out yesterday. They talking about this is his last season, which we kind of knew that anyway. But he's saying that it is. And you know, I think I was disappointed. Our defense, we got a lot of injuries, but I'm disappointed in Devin Bush and Joe Schobert, the middle linebackers, man. They've been playing terrible. But Najee Harris don't have any blocking. We need to get an O-line. I don't know what we'll do at quarterback next year. I hope we go after Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson.
I think Deshaun Watson's going to be a better fit. I do have to interrupt you. It's 3rd and goal at the Baltimore 5, 152. Steelers are about to put the ball in. Up. They just scored. Steelers just scored.
So what score now?
Let's see. Hold on. Chris just said, just went ahead. Ravens are going to need to pull out 18. So that it's 18-13.
Oh, okay. Well,
Johnson just scored 2. Johnson just scored it. He got 2 touchdowns.
And he on my fantasy team.
Oh my gosh.
In both leagues.
Well, you know, listen, I just want to say this.
Hey man, let me tell you this just because it's so ridiculous. In the fantasy league that we not in together, the other one, Big G and both of them. I'm up 201-45.
No. The other dude must just not have checked his lineup, man.
He still got players to play. He got Harris for the Patriots, Williams tonight for the Broncos, a running back, Tyreek Hill, and Hunter Henry for the Patriots tomorrow, and the Broncos defense. But he ain't finna score no 160 points.
Nah, hey, that's a wrap. He might well just gone Kiss it. What you had on the other league?
I'm winning because I had Brady and Gronk. In that league, I'm up 148 to 116.
That's good. That's good. So, and what's your records in both leagues?
I'm 10-2 in our league, and I'm 11-1 in the other league. So I'm in first place. And last week, man, I was so mad. Some joker, man, you probably know who it is. I don't know who beat me. But they had McKissick on Monday night for the Redskins. That joker scored 2 touchdowns. They needed 23 points to beat me. They got like 23.6. That's my second loss.
Everybody take a L sometime.
Hey,
like
Chris on here commenting. No, he know how I do the fancy football.
Everybody hold an L sometime. Everybody plays the fool. That's what the song say. Everybody plays the fool. But man, listen, I want to thank everybody who rocked out and came and kicked it with us during this Know It All podcast. And of course, if you like the content that you're hearing, please make sure you press that like button and mash the subscribe button. So that way, you know, when we go live, you're going to know that we are here. For myself, for Big Tate and Big G, who is not here, man, we will definitely catch up with you guys next week. And we are out, man. Peace.
Peace.